Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is T from the FTK Crochet brand, and today we are going to be making this beautiful dress. I named it the Aso-Oke Bubu dress, Aso-Oke Bubu gown. Why I called it that is because in the African culture, especially in Nigeria, the Yoruba culture, they have this fabric they called Aso-Oke. So they use it to make this traditional wear to their parties. So I used the yarn to crochet the exact thing. I got the inspiration from the culture. You see how beautiful it looks? It's a step-by-step detailed tutorial, so if you are new to crochet, this is something you can actually do for yourself or for a loved one. All right, but before we go into today's tutorial, have you subscribed to my channel yet? Don't you think you are missing too much not subscribed to this channel? I want to give you the chance to actually subscribe to my channel and click on that tiny notification bell below so you do not miss out on all this goodness dripping from this page. All right, so without any further ado, let us get into today's tutorial. For this project, these are the materials that you are going to need. You are going to need your black color yarn, the dark pink color, the gray color, and the green color. So these are the colors that we are going to use to form the Aso-Oke material that we are going to be using for the project that we're about to do. All right, so now you need your scissors, you need a tapestry needle, some stitch markers, very important. Then you need your measurement tape. Then on this one, I'm going to be working with a 4mm hook size. All right, so let us get into it. Okay, so the measurement you are going to need for this project is going to be your hips measurement plus 5 inches. All right, so when you take your hips measurement, whatever inches you get from there, you are going to add 4 or 5 more inches, because this dress we're about to make, it's not your regular tight dress, it's a free dress. That's why I name it the Aso-Oke Bubu gown. Okay, so for this one now, I'm making it for myself, so my hips is usually 43-44, so I'm going to be adding 5 to my own, so I'm going to be making 48 inches. That is for my hips measurement. All right, then the second measurement that you need for this one is the length that you want your gown to be on. Okay, you can go ahead to do the length that you are comfortable with. All right, so let us get into the tutorial. All right, so now on this project we are going to be working vertically. All right, so the chain that you are about to make now is going to be the length of the gown. All right, so this chain now, whatever length that you want your gown to be on, is the amount of the inches of chain that you are going to make. All right, so for my own chain, I'm going to be going ahead to make 150 chains. All right, so let us get into making our chains. 1, 2. Okay, so I now have my foundation chain ready, and like I told you, I ended up making 150 chains. All right, so to begin the row 1, you are going to chain up 1, and on the next stitch you are going to be going in there with a single crochet. All right, and on the next stitch you're going to go in there with a single crochet. So for this row 1, you are going to be putting in 1 single crochet on each of the stitches until the end of this row. All right, so just keep putting in 1 single crochet until the end here. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 1 now, and this is how my row 1 is looking. All right, so now what we are going to be doing, we are going to be switching to the green color. All right, so to switch on this one now, you are just going to chain up 1 and cut off the black yarn and tie it. All right, and then now you are going to be introducing the green color. So turn your work to the other side, just like this. So on the end stitch here now, you are going to be going in there and reattaching the green yarn. Okay, and now you are going to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. So this chain 3 is going to be serving as 1 stitch. All right, because on this row now we are going to be working double crochet. Okay, so this chain 3 now is 1 double crochet, and now on the next stitch you are just going to be going in there with 1 double crochet, and the next stitch you are going to be going in there with 1 double crochet. So for this entire row 2 now, you are going to be working double crochet on each of the stitches all across, okay, until you get to the very end here. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 2, and this is how we're looking. I had to fold it like this so you can see the whole thing. All right, so now to begin the row 3, you are going to cut off this green yarn, and now we are going back to the black yarn. All right, so you chain up 1, cut the green color off, and drag it out to tie just like this, and then you are going to turn your work to the other side, and now we are going back to the black color. So you are going to reattach your yarn on the very first stitch right here. All right, so the first stitch now you are going to chain up 2, because this 2 is going to be serving as one of the single crochet that we are going to be working. Okay, so now on the next stitch you are going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. All right, and on the next stitch you are going to go in there with a single crochet, and on the next stitch you're going to go in there with a single crochet. So this entire row now you just keep putting in single crochet all across until you get to the end here. So when I get here, I'll come back to show you what we are going to be doing next. All right, okay, so I'm at the end of row 3, so you can see how it's looking already. So now we are going to be switching back to the green yarn. So chain up 1 and cut off this yarn and tie this one off, and turn your work to the other side. So with the green color now, you are going to be reattaching it on the very first stitch here. Okay, so now we are going to be doing a double crochet row again, just like we did at the bottom here. Okay, so you reattach your yarn in the very beginning here, and you're going to chain up 3. So this is 1, 2, and 3, and don't forget this chain 3 now is going to be serving as 1 double crochet. All right, so on the next stitch you're going to be going in there with 1 double crochet, and on the next you're going to be going in there with 1 double crochet. So for this row 4 you are just going to be putting 1 double crochet on each of the stitches until you get to the end, just like we did on row 2. All right, so when you get to the end here, you are going to switch back to the black color, and you are going to put 1 single crochet just like we did here. All right, okay, so I'm done with the green double crochet row and the black single crochet rows. Okay, so for the 6th row now, we are going to be changing the color into the pink color. Okay, so now we are going to be introducing the pink color on these points. And with this pink color, we are going to be doing a double crochet. So what we've been doing with the green color is what we'll start doing with the pink color now. Okay, so to start on the double crochet, you are going to reattach your yarn on the very first stitch right here, and then you are going to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. And this chain 3 is going to be serving as 1 stitch, which is this is 1 double crochet now. So on the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with a double crochet. And on the next stitch you're going to be going in there with a double crochet. So for this row 6 now, that is exactly what you are going to be doing. You are going to be doing a double crochet on this row until you get to the end. So when you get to the end here with the pink color, you are going to switch to the black color again, and you are going to do a single crochet just like we've been doing. So it's exactly the same thing. All we just did now is just switch from the green color to the pink color. So I'm going to go off camera now to do my pink color row of double crochet and switch to the black color and do 1 single crochet row, and I'm going to come back to show you what we are going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so I'm done with the row 7, and this is how it's looking. So as you can see, instead of using the green and black, we used the pink and black this time around. All right, so in order to get to the row 8, we are just going to turn our work to the other side. So this time around, we are going to be introducing a new color. So we are going to be using the gray color. All right, so now you are going to reattach the gray color on the very first stitch right here. Okay, and then you are going to chain up 2. So this time around we are going to be doing a single crochet with this gray color. Okay, so now this gray color is going to be doing what the black color has been doing. So now for this row, for the row 8, we are going to be doing single crochet like I said. So on the next stitch now you're going with 1 single crochet, and the next stitch you're going with 1 single crochet, and the next stitch you're going with 1 single crochet. All right, so with this gray color now you're going to do a single crochet all the way to the end here, and when you get to the end here you are going to switch back to the pink color and do a row of double crochet again, and then you switch the color again and do a row of single crochet. Okay, so instead of going black, pink, black, now we are going to be going gray, pink, gray. Okay, and do not forget the gray is single crochet all across, then the pink is a double crochet all across, and then you come back with the gray again, single crochet all across. So I'm going to go off camera now to do that, and I'll come back to tell you what we are going to be doing next. Okay, so I'm done putting in the 3 rows. You see, 1 single crochet of gray, 1 double crochet of pink, and 1 single crochet of gray. All right, so this is where the design stops for this part now. All right, please pay attention to this particular detail. All right, so like I told you, my hips measures 48, so I shared the 48 into 2 places, and one part is 24 and the other part is 24, and we are going to be making 3 panels for this particular gown. All right, 2 in front and 1 at the back like I told you. Okay, so now we are starting with the front panel, which is this one. Now is the front panel. So what we want to do now, we need this design at the beginning of this front panel. You know, I told you we're working vertically, and we need it at the end as well. So the middle now, we are just going to be doing only double crochets. No need to do all these designs right here. So this is where the detail comes in. All right, so now this particular design now gave me exactly 3.5. All right, so with this 3.5 here now, if it is going to come up again at the end, it will give me another 3.5. That would be 7 in total. So whatever size I'm going for now is going to happen in the middle. All right, so with 3.5, it gave me 7, so I will have to create 5 inches in the middle. Okay, so from here on out, like I told you, we are just going to be working only double crochet stitches in the middle. Now to begin the double crochet for my own now, I'm just going to reattach my yarn in the very first stitch right here, and then I'll chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, and don't forget this chain 3 now is going to serve as 1 double crochet. Okay, so now on the next stitch you're going to be going in there with 1 double crochet, and on the next stitch you're just going to go in there with 1 double crochet, and the next stitch is going to take 1 double crochet. All right, so like I said, keep working your double crochets. Okay, so like me now, I'm going to be going off camera to do 11 rows of double crochet. So the way I'm going to play with my own colors is going to be 3 black, 2 gray, 1 black, 2 gray, and 3 black rows. All right, so I'm going to go off camera to do all that, and I'll come back to show you how it's looking and what we're going to be doing next. Okay, so I'm done putting in my middle rows, and as you can see, I did 3 blacks, 2 gray, 1 black, 2 gray, and 3 black. So that gave me the 5 inches that I'm going for. So now I'm going to be repeating the design I made here. All right, and like I explained to you in details, this is 3.5, so plus 5, now we now have 8.5. So if I repeat this 3.5 on the other side, I'm going to get the 12 inches that I'm going for the first front panel, which happens to be this one. All right, but now the only thing that we are going to be doing now, we are going to be using the next 3.5 stitch now to form the neck area of the top. All right, because we want it to be like a round neck. Okay, so with this 3.5 inches, which is this design right now, we are going to be creating the neck area with that. All right, so let us get into that. Okay, so like I told you, we are going to be repeating this design here now. We are going to be doing it on this part now. All right, so the way we are going to be doing it, we're not going to be starting from this back. We are going to be now starting from here. Okay, so for this very first one now, we are not going to be doing the counting for the neck area. We're just going to do the normal row of the gray single crochet. Okay, just like we did on this part right here. Okay, because we are going to be working from back to front now. All right, okay, so I'm done with the first row of single crochet of the gray color. So as you can see, the next color now is going to be the double crochet pink color. All right, so now I'm going to turn my work to the other side, just like this, like we've been doing. So now to start on the pink, we are not going to be starting from the very beginning here. Okay, because like I told you, we are going to be creating the neck area from here now. All right, so now we are going to be counting 15 stitches. Okay, so we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. So on the 15th stitch, that is where you are going to be reattaching the pink color yarn. All right, so now you reattach your yarn on the 15th stitch, and you are going to chain up 2. Okay, 1 and 2. All right, so you know in the beginning we usually chain up 3, but this time around we are going to be doing decreases. Okay, so now you are going to chain up 2 and then you run over, and on the next stitch you are going to be going in there with a double crochet. So you need this stitch marker now just to mark where your first stitch is going to be. Okay, so now you are not going to be counting this chain 2 as a double crochet row, as a double crochet stitch, sorry. So this now is going to be our first stitch. That is why you need to put a stitch marker here just to know where your first stitch is. Okay, so now you are going to continue putting in double crochet on each of the stitches, okay, until the very end. Okay, so when you get to this end here, you are going to switch to the gray yarn, which is here, because like I told you, we are going to be repeating everything we just did on this part. Okay, so you know after the double crochet now you are supposed to see the gray single crochet. So when you get to this part, you know we do not decrease on this part because this is the bottom part. Okay, so when you get to this place normal with the double crochet, you are going to end with the pink color, and you're going to change to the gray color and put in 1 single crochet and work it all the way down to this part. And when you get to this part where we need to do the decrease again, I'll come back to show you how we are going to do the decrease right here. Okay, so I'm done putting in the double crochet of the pink down to the end, and I reversed back with the gray color, and now we are at the place where we need to do the decrease on the neck area. All right, and like you remember, I told you to put a stitch marker on the very first stitch so we know where our first stitch is. Okay, so now on this part we have 2 stitches left, as you can see. Please just watch what I'm doing. Okay, so here we are going to be doing a decrease. Okay, so you are going to remove your stitch marker from the very last stitch here. And the way we do the decrease here, you're just going to skip this 1 stitch and go into that last stitch right here where the stitch marker was, and just do a normal double crochet. Okay, so that is how we achieve the decrease. Okay, so what you're going to do now, you're just going to put the stitch marker there now so you can mark where the very last stitch is on this part, just like that. And now we are going to be switching color back to the black color. All right, so as you can see, after the gray color here, we need to go back to our black color. Okay, so now you are going to chain up 1 and cut off the gray yarn, just like that. And now we are going to be bringing back our black color. Okay, and then you are going to remove your stitch marker from the very last stitch where I put the stitch marker here. That happens to be the first stitch now. Okay, so you're going to be going into that stitch now, and then you are going to chain up 1, just like this. And now on the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. Okay, so now this chain 1 is not going to be counting as 1 single crochet, so our 1 single crochet starts from this second one. So we are going to be putting our stitch marker on that stitch to mark where our first stitch is. Okay, so now you just keep doing 1 single crochet on each of the stitches until you get to the very end of the row. Okay, so each stitch will get 1 single crochet until you get to the very end here. And as you remember, we are not doing any decrease on these parts here. So the next stitch now, after the black, you are going to be switching the color. When you get to the end here with the black single crochet, you are going to switch to the pink color again, and you are going to do a double crochet from here all the way to this part. So when you get to where we need to decrease again with the pink color, I'll come back to show you what we are going to be doing next, how we are going to do the decrease with the pink color on this part. Okay, all right, so now as you can see, I have just 2 stitches left, this and where the stitch marker is. Okay, so I'm going to remove the stitch marker from here now. So with these 2 stitches, I'm just going to be doing a double crochet of decrease. Please just watch what I'm doing so you understand it clearly. All right, so you are going to yarn over, enter into the next stitch now, and do a double crochet, but don't finish it. So now that you have 2 on your hook, yarn over and go into the very last stitch right here, and then yarn over and pull out a loop. So now that you have 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull out 2 loops. Now that you have 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull out all 3 loops. Okay, so that is how you do the decrease for this row. All right, so now you are going to chain up 1 and cut off this yarn, because we are going to be switching back to the black color. All right, but first we are going to be putting our stitch marker on the very last stitch here so we do not miss it. Okay, so now the next row now is going to be the black color. So this is where we're at here. Okay, so now you are going to turn your work to the other side, and now you are going to be reattaching your yarn on the very first stitch here where we have the stitch marker. Okay, so remove the stitch marker from here, and you are going to reattach your black yarn here, and then you are going to chain up 1. And do not forget, on the decrease area, this chain 1 does not stand as a single crochet. Okay, so now on the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. Okay, so now this is our first stitch. We're just going to put our stitch marker back on that stitch, just like this, to mark our first stitch. Okay, so now on each of the stitches, you're just going to keep putting in 1 single crochet. Okay, until you get to the very end of this row again, right here, until you get to the very end of this row here again, and then you're going to switch to the green color, because as you can see, now we are back to the black, green, and black. All right, so when you are done with the single crochet all across this row, when you get to the end here, you are going to switch to the green color, and you are going to go in with 1 double crochet all across until you get to this part where we need to decrease again. And when I'm done with mine, I'll come back to show you how we are going to do the decrease with the green color right here. Okay, so I'm done with the black single crochet row and the green double crochet row. So now I'm at the place where we need to do the next decrease. All right, so now to end this row right here with the green double crochet row, as you can see, I have 2 stitches left. So I'm just going to remove the stitch marker from this last stitch right here, and then I'm going to be doing a double crochet to make a decrease with the 2 stitches left. All right, please just watch carefully. It's what we did on this pink row. That's exactly what we're going to be doing for the green row. Okay, so you yarn over, go into the next stitch now and do a double crochet, but don't finish it. Now that you have 2 on your hook, you yarn over, go into the very last stitch right here, yarn over and pull out a loop. Now that you have 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull out 2 loops. Now that you have 3 on your hook, yarn over and pull out all 3 loops. All right, and then you chain up 1, and then you are going to cut off this green yarn because we are going back to the black yarn. All right, so now to start on the black row again, because as you can see, the black row is what follows just after the green rows. You are going to just after the green row, sorry, you are going to turn your work to the other side now, and the decrease continue on this part because as you can see, it's on the neck area. Okay, so now you are going to reattach your black yarn on the very last stitch right here. That happens to be the first stitch now. Okay, so now you are going to chain up 1. Okay, the 1 does not count as a stitch, you already know that. So on the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. So that's our first stitch. So here you are going to be putting the stitch marker just to mark our first stitch. Okay, so you keep putting in your single crochet as you go. You put 1 single crochet in 1 stitch all across. Okay, and when you get to this part again, you remember there is no decrease here. You are going to end here and switch back to your green color. Okay, you switch back and you come back here again. All right, and do the decrease here again, and I'll meet you here. Okay, so I'm going off camera now to do the last 2 rows left. So it happens to be we're on this one now, so I'm going to be doing 1 black, 1 green, and 1 more black. Okay, so I'm done with the first front panel, and as you can see, you see how we did the neckline. I had to try and hide this thing so it doesn't disturb when I'm showing you what I did. All right, so this is the whole thing. I had to bring it to my chair because my table is not big enough to show you how the entire thing looks. All right, so with this one now, we are done with the first front panel. So what you are going to do now, you are going to go ahead to do something identical, because like I told you, we are going to be doing 2 front panels just like this. Okay, so I'm done with my second front panel, and this is how it's looking. So as you can see now, it is shaping out very beautifully. Let me show you the whole thing, because that's the point of actually bringing it here. So now the next step is going to be working the back panel. All right, so the way you do the back panel now, you see how this one is looking, but without this neck parts. Okay, so I'm done with my back panel, and this is how the full thing is looking. So like I told you, it's identical to what we did in front, but without the neck parts. So the next step now is going to be joining everything together. Okay, so I'm going to take it to my table now, and we are going to be joining all together. All right, okay, so to join the shoulders, I'm going to be using the sewing method. So I'm going to be using the tapestry needle to do the sewing, but there are different ways you can actually join it together. You can decide to close it up with a single crochet or a slip stitch, but me, this is what I'm going with. Okay, so if you are joining me to do this method, let me just show you how we are going to be doing this. So the way I like to close my own, I always like to close it with each of the colors. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, so just watch what I do and you go ahead to do yours. All right, so as you can see, you see these long tails that is here when we're making it. This is going to be useful now because these are the threads that we're going to be using to join it together. Okay, so as you can see, where there is green, you will see the green there. So now that we are starting with the black, I'm going to be starting with this last black right here. So just put it in your tapestry needle just like this, and then you're going to take the other part, the other panel now, and you're going to go into the very first stitch right here. All right, to lock it down. Okay, so you are going to come back to this panel. Please just watch what I'm doing. Okay, come back to this panel and pick this part and lock it down. And then to close this part off, so the tying is going to take place at the back. Instead of going through the bottom, you put it through the top like this. So this thread now would be inside. You see? So now we just complete the joining of the black parts. Okay, so let me go into the green now. So the next one that we are joining now happens to be the green color, and as you can see, the green thread is available here for us. So all you need to do is just fix the green thread inside your tapestry needle, and now go to the other panel and pick the stitch just below to lock it in. Sorry, this thread is supposed to be at the bottom. Let me drag it out. Okay, so now you are going to be taking the middle stitch. You know this is a double crochet now, right? So you go to the middle here and take the stitch at the middle, pick it from the bottom like this, and go to the other side. You pick the bottom as well because it must be uniform. So what we are trying to do now is to get the front and the back and make it a uniform. Okay, just like that. And now you are going to go to the end here and pick the stitch from the bottom. Just like this. And then you are going to go to the top. So this time around now, like I told you, we want this stitch now, this thread now to go to the back. So we are going to be putting it through the front, just like this, so that this stitch, this thread will go to the back. That is where we are going to be tying it. Okay, so this is exactly how you join it. So now you are going to the black color. As you can see, the black color is available to us. So all you just need to do is just go into this part now and just seal the deal. So if you need this thread now, we need it to be at the back. We just come back here again and pass it through the front, and there you go. All right, so this in front now, as you can see, everything is blending together. So by the time you are done doing all these parts, joining it together, all you just need to do is turn it to this side and tie them off and sew in the ends and cut off all of the threads. Okay, so you go ahead now and keep sewing yours together if you are using this method. Like I said, it's a little bit tricky and it's hard work, but at the end of the day, it will come out very neatly. Okay, and you don't want the black to be showing everywhere if you decide to use just the black color. So I'm going to go off camera now to do mine, and I'll come back to show you how it's looking and what we're going to be doing next. Okay. Okay, so I'm done joining the shoulders together. So as you can see, you see how neat it looks, because I try to follow the colors so they will all blend together. So this is the other side. All right, so now the next step is going to be joining the sides together to reveal our armhole. All right, so as you can see, I've already gone ahead to actually put some stitch markers just to mark where I need to join together. All right, so my measurement around my arm is actually 18 inches. So this is exactly what I took out of this place. So as you can see, you know, when it's folded, if I get 9 on this side, 9 on the other side, that is going to be exactly 18 inches. All right, so I went with 18 inches. So this is where I'm going to be revealing for my armhole, because altogether now this one is 18 inches. Okay, so let us get into closing our sides. Okay, so to join my own sides together now, I'm going to be going with the single crochet method, but there are different ways you can actually join yours. You can decide to use a tapestry needle like we did on the shoulders, or you can actually use a slip stitch. But for this one, I'm going to be going with a single crochet method. All right, so to do the single crochet method, you will have to turn your work inside out. Okay, so for me now, I've turned mine inside out, and this is where I'm going to be working because we want this single crochet stitch now to be on the inside instead of showing outside. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you're going to reattach your yarn on the very last stitch here. Okay, and then you're going to go into the first stitch on the other side, on the other panel. Then you are going to reattach your yarn right there, and you're going to chain up one. All right, so now on the next stitch on this panel, you are going to take it like this and go into the next stitch on the other panel, and then you are going to do a single crochet. So on the next stitch right here and on the next stitch on the other panel, you are going to do a single crochet. So if you are following this method, this is exactly what you are going to be doing. You are going to be taking the two sides, taking the stitches from the two sides and making a single crochet. So as you can see, all right, so you go ahead now to join yours using the single crochet all to this point where the armhole is, and I'll meet you right here. Okay, so I'm at the end of the joining now. So as you can see, you see how neat this looks. Too bad it's going to be on the inside. All right, so now we are at where the armhole ends or begins. So we are at the stitch marker now. So what I'm just going to do now, I'm going to be working a single crochet all around the arm area. Okay, so like I told you, you know, this part is going to be at the back, but this one that we're going to be doing on the arm now, I want it to face the front. So what you're going to do now, you are going to remove the stitch marker first from here. Okay, and then you are going to turn your work to the other side. Okay, so make sure this single crochet you're about to do all around the arm is going to be facing the front of your work. Okay, so you are still going to continue with same thread you've been using, same yarn. Okay, so all you just need to do now is chain up one. Okay, I've done that already. And now on the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with a single crochet, just like this. And on the next, you're going to be going in there with a single crochet. Okay, so I'm at the end of the single crochet row now. So this is how I end it here. All right, so you see that one that we started with now, you're going to be going in there with a slip stitch to end the row. All right, so this is it, and then you're going to chain up one and then cut off your yarn, because we are done with the sides and the arm area. Okay, so this is how it's looking. Let me show you how neat this looks. So from the outside now, you see how it looks, how it comes out very neatly. So as you can see, all right, so now the next step is going to be working on the front. So we are going to be joining the front together. All right, so we are going to be leaving a little bit of slit on the front area. If you don't want to put a slit, you can just start your own joining from the very bottom right here. Okay, so this joining, we are going to be using the tapestry needle method. All right, so let us get into that. Okay, so to start on the joining now, you are going to need your tapestry needle, and then you are going to need a strands from the yarn that you've been using. All right, so like you already know, I'm going to be using the black color because it is going to go with what is here already. Just go ahead to get the strand that is enough to go all the way to the top. All right, and just cut it out and then fix it in your tapestry needle, just like this. So you already have an idea of how this is going to work because this is the method we use in joining the shoulders. All right, so to begin here now, like I said, I'm going to be leaving a little slits, which is where I put this stitch marker. So I'm just going to remove the stitch marker from here now. So you can actually do this one facing the front. Okay, so now you go into the next stitch right here and go through the bottom and pull it out just like this. Okay, so go into the next stitch now. Please just watch what I'm doing carefully. Okay, so go into the next stitch and pull it out. Make sure you are taking it from the bottom. All right, and come to this other side, take it from the bottom and drag it out, and go to the other side, take it from the bottom and drag it out. So this is how you join the middle. Just go ahead and keep doing this until you get to the very end. Okay, you see how it's looking now? So you keep doing that until you get to the very end here. And when I get here, I'll come back to show you what we're going to be doing next. Okay? Okay, so I'm done with the joining and this is how it's looking. You see how neat it looks, right? So now I didn't do it to the very end. I left 10 stitches out. So the next step now is going to be working single crochet all around the neck. Okay, so let us get into that. So for this single crochet on the neck area, I'm going to be using the black color. All right, so to start on that now, you are going to be inserting you are going to be reattaching your yarn on the very first stitch right here. Please just watch what I'm doing. Okay, so this part now happens to be our first stitch here. That's the black color. So you reattach your yarn there and chain up one. Okay, so like I said, we are going to be working single crochet all across. Okay, so on that same stitch now, you are going to be going in there with one single crochet. All right, and on this green now, you are going to be going in here in this piece now with 2 single crochet. And on the black previous single crochet, you are going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. And on the green again, you are going to be going in there with 2 single crochet on that space. And then the black again, you're going to be going in there with just 1 single crochet. Then on the pink, you are going to be going in there with 2 single crochet on that space. Okay? And now on the black again, please just watch what I'm doing, okay? You're going to go in there with 1 single crochet. On the gray part, you're going to go in there with 1 single crochet. And on the pink again, you're going to be going in there with 2 single crochet. And then the last gray right here, you're going to go in there with 1 single crochet. So as you can see, this is what you do. Just keep putting in the 1 single crochet all across, and I will meet you right here. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 1 now. I just want to show you how I end it here. Okay, so now I put the last 2 single crochet here. So now you're going to be going into the very last stitch right here, and that happens to be the black row. All right, so you're going to do a single crochet on that stitch to end the row, just like this. All right, so as you can see, this is how it's looking. So the next step now is going to chain up 1. All right, you're going to chain up 1 and then turn your work to the other side. And now you are going to be going back with a single crochet all the way to this part again. Okay, so now this is exactly what you're just going to be doing. You're going to be putting in single crochet all around. So when you go like this now, you end here, chain up one, turn your work and come back again. You keep doing that until you get 4 rows. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera now to do 4 rows of single crochet for my neck area, and then I'll come back to show you the finished result. Okay, so I'm done with the single crochet rows, and as you can see, I ended up putting 5 rows of single crochet instead of the 4 I told you I was going to put. Okay, so this is how the final look is looking. All right, so the next step now is going to be adding the pockets. I'm going to be doing just 1 pocket on this one. So as you can see, I already mark where my pocket is going to be. So I'll advise you put it on your body so you know the exact place that you want your pocket to be on. Okay, so this is the piece I'm going to be using for the pocket. You already know how this works. All right, so all I did to get this piece now, I chained up 30 and I started with the normal single crochet with the black, and then I did double crochet of the green, single crochet of the black, 1 double crochet of the pink, 1 single crochet of the gray, then 3 black rows of double crochet and 2 gray, and then I ended up putting just 1 double crochet at the end here. Then I used single crochet all around it. All right, so after putting all of these ones on the inside, I just did 1 single crochet all around. So that is what gave me this piece that you see here. Okay, so this is it. This side is 5.5 and this side is 7.5. All right, I'm going to show you the reason why I did it with those colors now, because of how I want to place it. And so when I want to place it now, it's going to start from here. So as you can see the design now, after coming from here, you see the pocket carrying just a little bit of this side on this part, and then continue with this one. So I just want the pocket to be like this. So you can see the vision already. Okay, so you can go ahead to actually make your own pockets this exact size. Okay, so it is this part we need to cover for the pockets. That is the idea of the dress. All right, so I'm going to show you how we are going to sew this onto the top, onto the dress now. All right. Okay, so to sew the piece of the pocket to the dress, you are going to need a long thread, so a strand of a thread that you've been working on, a strand of the yarn that you've been using to work. Okay, and then you need your tapestry needle. Just make sure you get a long one that is enough to actually go around. All right, so all you need to do is put it on your tapestry needle just like this. Okay, and now I'm going to be starting from here, because as you know, pockets, you don't have to do the top side. All right, so we are going to be starting from this side so we can work it all the way down to this part. That's why I said you should put a stitch marker where you want it to go. All right, so now what I did, I just count the stitches. Since I chained 30 on this one, all I did is count 30 stitches here, and then I measured 5.5 from this side, because already the stripes is already showing me where I need to end or where I need to begin. So the place I actually concentrated on is this part, which is 30 stitches, because that's what I have here now. Okay, so I'm going to be starting with the very first stitch here, and then I'm going to go into the stitch right here. So I'm doing it with the black instead of the gray, because I want it to be uniform. Okay, so you are going to go in there. Please just watch what I'm doing. Okay, so you're going to go in there just like that. Okay, and then you pick the next stitch now right here, and then you pick the next stitch on the pockets, and then you drag it out just like this. So you go to the next stitch right here, and you go to the next stitch on the body of the dress. And this is how you sew it together. Okay, so you just keep doing this now. Come to this stitch right here. Pick the stitch from the bottom like this. And then you go to the stitch on the body of the dress and pick it just like this. and then you drag it out. So this is how you sew the pocket to the dress. So you keep doing that now until you get to this part. Going off camera to do mine now, and I'll come back to show you the finished result. All right. Okay, so I'm done fixing the pocket, and this is how it's looking. So as you can see, so I ended up putting a little bit of aesthetic on top here. This one. So all I did here is just a back loops only double crochet in the very first one, and then I added another row of double crochet. So I did 2 double crochet right here and 1 single crochet to end it, and then I sewed it down just like that. It's just to put a little bit of aesthetic, because as you can see now, you see this part now, it corresponded with this part. So when you look at the dress from here, you just see like a design like this. All right, but it's optional, you don't have to put that on your own, it's just what I like. All right, so this is how the full thing is looking. My table is not big enough to show you the whole thing, so I'm just going to be dragging it. So this is the top. So that's how the neck is looking. This is so cute. And this is the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead now to weave in all of these ends, and we will be done with our boo-boo gown. All right. Yeah. So with this, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. I do hope you enjoy watching this video as much as I did making it. If you do, please be sure to like this video and share it to your friends and family who wants to make something as beautiful as this. All right, and if you have any questions about this project, feel free to drop it on the comment section and I will be happy to help. And if you've not subscribed to my channel before now, make sure you do so, because you don't want to be missing out on all those beautiful tutorials I post on here. All right, and make sure you click on that tiny notification bell below so that whenever I post a tutorial like this, you'll be alerted. All right, so until next time, bye bye.